Hey everybody, it's Alexia from amysticspath, back to bring you guys some more clarity. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now, today I want to talk to you guys about some astrological predictions, and I want to talk about Saturn and Jupiter going into the sign of Aquarius. That is happening in December, and a little bit of Pluto going into Aquarius, but this isn't happening until 2024. All right, so I also have the chart here, you guys, pulled up for December of 2020, like December 22nd for 2020, which is in a couple months, or like basically 2 months from now. And I want to talk about the fact that we are going to have an uprise in humanitarian rights and our feelings towards humanitarian rights and how people are being treated and the equality of this. All right, we're going to have an expansion of this and being pulled into feeling these energies because Jupiter is entering there. We're also going to have an expansion of scientific and technological discoveries, and at least if it's not discoveries, it's the expansion of the research that is leading up to the technological and the scientific discoveries. And we may see the uprise in the final project of this in 2024 when we see Pluto entering Aquarius. Okay, and this is going to be the rise of humanitarian rights and the rise of technological and scientific discoveries. Now, when we see Saturn going into the sign of Aquarius, always throughout history, we can look at just the past, just like looking at just the recent past, okay? So if we're diving into Saturn and Aquarius in the 1960s, civil rights movement, rioting and protesting, really going against what's unethical and what is not right, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be changed for the greater, like the greaterness of humanity. This isn't your brother, this isn't your sister, this is everyone and everything. Aquarius doesn't look at the personal, Aquarius looks at the bigger picture, okay? So when we were looking at Saturn in Aquarius in the 1990s, civil rights movement, uproar, okay, rebellion, going against the structures. Why? Because Saturn is structure and foundation. Aquarius is rebellion, innovation, going against the norm, humanitarian rights, taking things that don't work and fixing them into a way that they do work, all right? When we had Saturn in Aquarius before it went retrograde and back into the sign of Capricorn, we had another civil rights movement bust out where we are protesting for civil rights, okay? But within this, guys, I see not only will we have this, not this issue, but we will have this energy of fighting for humanity and fighting for people where things need to be changed, where justice needs to be served, all right? And then there's the energy of rebellion. But within this, you guys, I seen this morning, especially, the message came through that Saturn in Aquarius isn't going to just affect the systematic racism that we have issues with. And we've seen a little bit of an uproar and not an uproar, but a concentration of how much we were looking at ICE and immigration, you guys. And this is what I was seeing, more attention to how we are treating people and how things are being done within immigration and within these situations with like the refugee camps and everything when people are trying to come over. All right, I've seen a really big highlight within this, but especially about the children and the it's not ethical, but the conditions that they're in and what it is that they're going through. It's not just, I feel like it's not just sanitary things that are going to be looking at, it's the actual treatment of people and how that is going and how that is working, how that's laying out, and that there will be rebellion and breakdowns within this, all right, that is going to cause almost the uprise for what is going to rise and what is going to really be taken into effect when Pluto enters Aquarius in 2024. This is where we're going to see things like the rise, and this is like when the empire rises. So there's all of this work that's being done before, and then Pluto comes in, and it really takes that power of manipulation and that power of control and rising humanitarian rights, rising the equality of how everyone is being affected, rising the innovation and what is coming out within science and technology as well. All right, we will also, I feel like, see within Jupiter and Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius. So when Jupiter is in Aquarius, because Jupiter and Saturn will not be in Aquarius when Pluto is in Aquarius, they will be exited out. But with Jupiter being in the sign of Aquarius coming up in December, and then onward, we will see this energy of almost our expansion within astrology, and our expansion within the metaphysical, and our expansion almost even, I feel like, even within channeling and bringing information. This is also very Aquarian energy. And when we have Pluto in 2024, and this Pluto is going to be there for a long time. Pluto stays in signs for a long time, okay? And when we're looking at Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius, this is the rise of all of these things, and this is going to be an even bigger rise, I feel like, to astrology and channeling and bringing forth information that is unconventional. We'll also now come December and again in 2024, when we have Pluto go into the sign of Aquarius, we have the interest in the acceptance of things that are not normal. So we'll see some things that are coming into style, are coming into mainstream, that are kind of unconventional, really original, and people will be stepping more into their own personal individuality, especially once Pluto hits Aquarius, you guys, because of the fact that it is the rise of that energy of within power and control and manipulation, and it rules that energy of originality when we're looking at Aquarius, of who it is that you are on an individual level, mixing that together. So we'll see a rise within our own personal individuality, and a rise within our interest in astrology and bringing forth information that is different, that is unconventional. All right, and inventions coming through because of that unconventional energy that's coming through. And these are kind of my predictions for what it is that we're going to see over, really, I guess, the next few years. We're going to see breakdowns and development starting to happen with Jupiter, and expansion for what has already started to happen as well, you guys. I want to make that clear. Expansion for what has already happened, because Jupiter entering into the sign of Aquarius. So things that we have already started on humanitarian wise, whether it is like whatever the case is, no matter what, like if we're looking at a group of people or all of humanity as a whole, what has already been started as expanding, okay? So these, like I said, these are my predictions for Saturn and Jupiter going into Aquarius in December, and Pluto being in Aquarius in 2024. Okay, so I hope that you guys all enjoyed this video, and at least we will have something to look back on when we go into going into December and forward into the future. And I hope everybody has a great day.